Well, you have to be compelling. If you're not compelling, there's a lot of people who are delivering dry financial content, and they'll find their niche. It's not saying they won't be successful, but what we found is what makes us different is that we're passionate about the content. It's not just information that we're going to regurgitate or give you the spark notes of. We are living these principles out. These are living, breathing principles. We're actually living without a credit card, and we're showing you how it's done. And so none of it is theoretical in a sense. So my favorite content is when I get to actually do the thing instead of telling you. And so an example, instead of telling you can rent a car with a debit card without a credit card, I called 5 rental places, and you hear the conversation. You hear my conversation with them. Meandered around, was in a band, worked at the Apple store, got fired from the Apple store, thought my life was over, worked at Urban Outfitters, moved south, finished at a tiny private Christian school called University of Mobile with a Bachelor's of Science in Communication. And from there, it was like, what next? I was into social media and technology and marketing, and so I got a gig here at Ramsey as an intern for a personality doing social media.
Wow.
Met my wife here, who still works here today, and we lived out this plan. And I went from broke to now we're net worth millionaires 10 years later. And hosting is what gave me the reps. So taking over for Ken for 4 years, I was hosting all of our live events, hosting all of the breaks on the video channel for the Ramsey Show. And that gave me so many reps. There's been times where I have a check in my spirit and I'll go to the team and be like, hey, I don't really love the way this paints me, or here's what I think will happen if we publish this, and here's what I know the comments are going to say. And so I want to be above reproach, and sometimes I'm happy to be proven wrong. And truthfully, there's a level of give and take where I have to compromise and go, it's not what I would choose, but I trust this team that is paid well to do these things, and at some point, I have to let go and say, if this is what's going to get people to actually consume the content that we worked hard to create, so be it. And until we get patterns of that feedback, I let my hands off the wheel and I go, all right, unless we see 7 videos in a row where the comments are saying, hey, this is clickbait, we're not going to make any sweeping changes. And that's happened with video clips, because our team is big on putting culturally relevant memes and clips to kind of, pop in between a sentence. I don't know what they're going to put in there, but I just trust that it's going to be a tasteful amount and a tasteful clip. And there's been moments where I told the team, hey guys, we need to dial it back. I'm seeing a pattern of comments. People saying, hey, it's distracting. I'm trying to engage with the content. But then there's also people who are like, that was a hilarious clip.
What are some of the biggest money traps that you see, especially pushed on YouTube? Oh,
gosh. I mean, anything in the get-rich-quick world. We've seen a lot of real estate traps, a lot of like, here's how to get nothing down on a real estate investment, arbitrage, Airbnb arbitrage, where you don't even own the property and you're like renting it out, but then you list it on Airbnb. House hacking, that's another big one where you're going to rent out, the other rooms. There's a lot with buy now, pay later, credit, even like how to beat the system with credit. Like you're going to write a check from your credit card to yourself, but then invest that and then you'll make a spread even more than the interest. And I'm like, this is such a complicated way to exist. And so I unpack in Breaking Free from Broke, my new book, the first 2/3 are just unpacking the big money traps. I don't think you need to have that expectation, whether it's YouTube or something else. Like we are blessed with this amazing platform from Dave. If I was on my own, sure, I'd own it all, but you might grow a lot slower. I have high standards for, little things in life.
Coffee.
I won't drink from a Keurig.
Yeah, me neither.
I won't do it. And people go, well, you're bougie, higher quality.
High quality, but low cost.
That's
as opposed to paying for a logo.
My family's Middle Eastern. My dad's from Egypt. My mom's from Syria. And so we're very just a frugal people. And we love a deal. And so we grew up going to Costco. It was like a special treat. And when it comes to money, the Bible has so much to say. 2,300 scriptures about wealth and possessions and money. And at the same time, it's so aligned. When you look across the book, of course, Proverbs is the book of wisdom, and it's got tons of money wisdom in there. But it's amazing to see not only the alignment in the Bible across it, but the alignment with the current culture that we're seeing. Proverbs 13:11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. I'm like, he was talking about crypto before crypto was even around. Like, wealth gained hastily will dwindle. If you win the lottery, your life will most likely implode. You're not ready for that level of wealth. We have Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is slave to the lender. It doesn't say unless you have a 0% interest rate. It just says the borrower is slave to the lender. You don't have full autonomy and agency over your life and your choices when you owe someone else money. So these are the principles that Dave built this place on. if you want to give to ministries and nonprofits and charities, that's the stuff that has eternal joy and a ripple effect generationally, not the things that I got to buy. My Apple Vision Pro, like, it's not coming to the grave with me. And so the impact I can have on my family, my community, all of that when you get out of debt and build wealth is just, it's mind-blowing. And so that to me is the real secret sauce of mixing faith and finance. It gives you so much more purpose behind why we're trying to build wealth. And as I've talked to creators and other finance YouTubers out there, they're doing great work and they're great people with great character, with cool goals, but it's just a chasing after the next million. The next 5 million.
Yeah.
And like, why are you so at peace? Like, you're broke compared to us. You're just a millionaire. We're multi-millionaires. And I'm like, I'm running my race, man. And I found when you try to run someone else's race, there is no finish line. And I think that running the race set before us, as the Bible says, is the most powerful thing we can do. And if God's given me this wealth to manage, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be faithful with it. And that to me frees me of the weight of what do I do with money and what's my next step. I just go, God will put that opportunity in front of me. He'll put that vacation in front of us. He'll put that person in front of us. And it's just a different way to live when you have a faith under.